Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the Social MBA, where business and social media intersect. I am your host, Franklin Rivera. I am super excited to be here, so let's get started. Well, I'm really excited to be back for episode number 2 of the Social MBA, and I kind of wanted to start it off by putting something out there. And I'm a music lover. I love music. I especially like underground music. And currently, actually, we're working with an underground hip-hop artist who is very pleasing to work with, very smart, very ambitious. And we've actually been sampling his music on our other show, R&R, Real and Raw with Franklin Rivera. So what I wanted to do was, coincidentally, the song that you heard in episode number 1 of the Social MBA was actually a song that I wrote back in the 90s. I was really into music, love writing, play guitar, and actually put together a CD, and didn't really have any other music to sample, so I said, hey, let me throw my own music on there. So I actually wrote that song. But to that end, I would like to really feature an independent artist's music weekly on my show here. I love to promote the independent artists. It's a lot of work to get noticed, and anything I can do to help out, I am more than happy to do. So if you know of a great indie artist that you think has some great music, please send me their information. Send it directly to frank@franklindrivera.com. I will check it out and see if I can feature their music on my show. Okay? So that's my part of giving back. So what are we going to talk about in week number 2, episode number 2 of the Social MBA? I want to start at the beginning. How do you actually start your social media marketing or digital marketing plan for that matter? Now, a lot of people, they tend to separate them. You know, social media, digital marketing, SEO. Well, let me explain it to you. Digital marketing encompasses all of those different elements, or is the umbrella of all those different elements to go on to creating inbound marketing or an online presence. So let's look at digital marketing. Let's think of pay-per-click or advertising. Let's look at your website. Okay, you're trying to drive people to your website. So that is also entangled with the user experience or your user interface for your website. How are people actually going to interact with your website and hopefully maybe get to that call to action, what we like to call that CTA, something that you want people to do. So how do you drive them to your website? Well, you can drive them by saying, hey, you know what, dude? Do that. Check out my website. The website address is, or one of those people that will hand you their business card and the website's on it and people go check it out. Another way is to actually use social media to drive people to your website. So social media happens to be another way of driving traffic to your website, or even just, there's a lot of uses for social media, so I won't even get into it that deep. Okay, now we actually have even SEO. Okay, SEO stands for search engine optimization. You have a lot of great SEO agencies out there. What they do is they optimize your website page, and even a lot of your content for that matter, that's not even going on your website page. It can actually be on your website page. It doesn't have to be, so that you can be found by search engines such as Google, Bing, Yahoo. So when people are searching for, the best New York style hot dog, you want to make sure that you actually are found for the best New York style hot dog. So it's important to have content on your site that is actually directed towards that search term. Okay, so you got search engine optimization, and others will call it search engine research marketing as well, SERM. So you have all these different components. What did I miss? Email marketing. I'm a huge believer in email marketing and email marketing automation, because what that enables people to do is to keep them in the funnel. Have you heard of the saying, out of sight, out of mind? Well, it's true. Do you get those emails? It's like annoying sometimes. It's like always coming from somebody. But if it's good, you keep them on the list. If it really sucks, you unsubscribe. Or if it's just too overwhelming, they're really not giving you anything of value, you unsubscribe, and even maybe go as far as actually blocking them as spam. Okay? So you have email marketing. And I love email marketing. I love targeted email marketing because that means someone actually opted in to being on your email list or your newsletter or to get information about your product or even about you if you happen to be your product. And that's even something else that we can get into a little bit further down the road. Matter of fact, I am really, really hoping to have on the show Megan Robinson of Robinson eMarketing. Yeah, Robinson eMarketing. Because she has really become a very strong strategic partner for me. And we've been talking about doing some of these podcasts together. So anyway, she's actually stepped in as someone who I value very highly for email marketing. So anyway, that's a little bit down the road. So how do you get started? Now, what you're about to hear may be very different from what a lot of digital marketers or social media marketers have told you. If they have not taken this approach with you, it's a couple reasons. Either I'm like super original in my approach, or they might not know exactly what they're talking about. Now, a lot of the social media thought leaders or digital marketing thought leaders that I like to follow online that I think have built a very successful business take this approach or some type of variation of this approach. But it really should be about this, because if it's not about this, you need to question, what are you in business for? What am I in business for? That's even another topic that we can talk about. What is your why? Simon Sinek talks about your why. You know, I actually heard what was his name? What is his name? From Evolution Church in the Carolinas. I was listening to a podcast today, and I got to bring his name up. I don't want to take time out to do that, but anyway, he had something really good. He said, you know, we don't need to know what your what is. There's enough what. You don't need to have a new what. What you need to realize is, what is your why? Because your why will take who to where. I was like, whoa, that is powerful. Your why will take who to where. So your why will take you to where you need to be. Okay? I love that. So let's go back. Usually the first thing that I ask a business when I sit down with them is, why are you doing this? What is your value proposition? What makes you different than everybody else? What is going to make me want to purchase or do business with you, or even become a strategic partner or refer business to you? What is it? And I will tell you many, many times, and a lot of times from established businesses, they do not know the answer. Why are you doing this? What is the difference that you are trying to make? What is your value proposition? What is your differentiating factor? Because I feel as if that is the foundation for a lot of the communication that's going out there. Heck, that's the foundation for your company culture. Think about it. I am sure there's a lot of good companies, and I'm not going to name them, that have started out really good, but because they bought crappy management and leadership in there, their why went out the window. Or it was not internalized by the people that worked at that organization. Your why defines your purpose. Your why will define your culture. And your why will define your messaging. Now, your messaging can vary or be different variations, but the foundation of the messaging is why. I mean, I hate to use this over and over and over again, but Apple is always quoted because they know their why. But I would beg to argue that they're starting to forget that, because I am starting to see a lot of, now let's not get into it, this whole Apple-Samsung thing, you know, where Samsung was stealing from Apple, and they had that bitter fight, but I am starting to see Apple take on a lot of the characteristics of Samsung. So I'm starting to want, or Android in general. So, but the size, a lot of, let's not even get into the nitty gritty, but I'm beginning to wonder if they're forgetting their why. But anyway, you need to identify what is your purpose? Now, I will tell you, years ago, 2011, when I first started, when my business was called Connected, 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 putting you in the know. I think that was I can't remember. But I wanted to draw a relationship between financial results and digital marketing or social media. More or less social media, because I think digital marketing, when you're talking about pay-per-click and things that are more easily measured, yeah, you can do that. But people are saying, what is my ROMI, return on my marketing investment, through social media? What is it? Can it be measured? And I said, I really think that it can be. I think a lot of this can be measured. So that was my value proposition, making dollars and cents of social media. And it was difficult because that was not the way a lot of businesses were thinking back in 2011. It was like, get me a lot of likes, get me a lot of follows, put me out there, make me popular, and the business will just come. And I was like, okay, but which channel is actually driving more business to you, and what is your ROI? So back then, I was kind of touting something that I learned in business school, retroactive regression analysis. So I was, saying, hey, we can get enough data points and blah, 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 and then see which one of these has the highest, probability or is delivering the most value, which channel is delivering the most value to your marketing plan. So that's what I was doing back then. But that was it. Now, my culture for my business was to build a business of basically hungry people. I wanted my culture to be one of innovation, of out-of-the-box thinking, irregardless of your experience, your age, or any other factors that people may discriminate against you for in the corporate world. So that was I did not want to be the one that figured out I know it all. I wanted people to challenge my thinking and to come into my organization and really expand my mind because they were just brilliant in what they do. They could think of innovative solutions to the most simple problems. That sounds kind of counterintuitive, doesn't it? So anyway, identify your why. What is your value proposition? Because if there are a lot of players out there in the marketplace, you really need to differentiate yourself. And I will say, don't always differentiate yourself because of price. When it comes to Walmart, I think that was a cover-up. Because as you know, there are things in Walmart that are actually more expensive than going other places, especially now with the advent of a lot of online purchases and online marketplaces. So that got you in the door. Once you're in the door, you're paying regular price or even higher in some respects, okay? So do not differentiate on price because price, I just feel as if price really hurts. Price does not equate to value, okay? Price does not equate to value. And a lot of times, you've heard first impressions are everything, okay? A lot of people have already come up with their impression of you within the first few minutes, or probably the first few seconds of maybe even talking to you. So if you're cheap, people are going to expect cheap. Hands down, they're just going to expect cheap. You have a lot of people out there undercutting. I saw this a lot in photography. Just say, hey, I'm not going to charge. I'll do your whole wedding for $100. Oh, wow. And they did it and they were disappointed. Well, you pay for what you get. So price does not equal quality or value. So do not try to differentiate yourself based on price alone. A lot of times people will pay more money if they perceive they're getting better quality and more value out of that. So that's my little tip. I told that to somebody that's just starting out a business. I was asking, hey, what do you charge? They told me this is what we charge per project. I was like, whoa, what are your revenue goals? Now that's my second question. That's the second question that I use to start a digital marketing plan. What are your revenue goals? because